Hi, welcome back friends. Today's video is going to be about preparing climate map using ArcGIS Pro. So let's get started. You can find the tutorial in this website as well under tutorials, and if you browse to ArcGIS, then I'll upload a written tutorial with the links and everything in this website as well. Just search for Geounity. Let's get started. First we need the data. So where can we get the climate data? Let's download it from World Climb. Just Google it and then go to the website worldclimb.org. Now download it. Here you can find about three options. So if you want historical climate data, then that's what you click, and historical monthly weather data, future climate data. For now, let's go with historical climate data, and here you can find various variables. For this example, we will be first preparing a historical climate data map of precipitation, showing precipitation. If you see here, it says 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So what is that? If you read the description, it actually means that the cell size, the spatial resolution is 10 minutes. It's like 1 degree, just like 1 degree. So it's just 10 minutes small. The pixel size is just 10 minutes, and 5 minutes, so 30 seconds. So that's the smallest pixel size. So this data must be very large. So for this example, since we don't need very accurate, very high spatial resolution, we won't need that. So we'll be just downloading the precipitation of 10 meter. Click it and then download it where you want. I've downloaded the data, and now let's see the data. Let's visualize the data. Open your ArcGIS Pro and let's create a new project, a map project. Where do you want to save it? Select your location and your name. I'll call my project climate climate. And in my case, I won't be creating another folder. Just click OK. Then it's opening now. Just after that, great. Now we'll import the data. Where is your data? You might remember where you have saved it, so just locate it from either you browse from computers, but I've set it to favorite, so that's how I'm going to browse it. I have saved it here, climate map. Yeah, so I have my data here, but I cannot see it because I have not extracted the data. So what you gotta do is extract the data first. I just downloaded the precipitation data. Right click and extract it. With any, you can use WinRAR or 7-zip as well. Does not really matter. Then after it's extracted, let's refresh. Right click and refresh. Yeah, there we have our precipitation data. Let's go there. So you can see there are 12 files, 12 images. What does this 12 images mean? 01 means it's the data of January, and 02 is February, and similarly 11 to November, and 12 means December. So that's the precipitation data of each month. We want for January, let's say. Then you can just simply drag and drop it, or you can also right click and load data. I've already dragged and dropped it. Okay, Now here we have that. I don't really want to create the pyramids, so now there we see the precipitation data of the whole world. You can interpret this data by seeing that there's higher precipitation in the area near equator, but there's less precipitation away from it. We can see the values here as well. Now what if you want to prepare precipitation data of a small country or one place or country? In my case, I would like to prepare precipitation data of Nepal. So how can we do that? Open new tab in browser and go to divagis.org. There you can download, then click here, click the free spatial data link, and then country, Nepal, subject, administrative area, and let's download the npl admin.zip. I've already downloaded it, so I won't click it. And after you have downloaded, make sure you extract the zip file, just like we extracted the precipitation, and then find your data. I have my data downloaded here. I will be adding this admin 0 boundary because that's all I need. Admin 0 boundary contains only the international boundary of that country. So that's Nepal boundary. Let's change the symbology by clicking there. Then since we want it to hollow, so simply change it to black outline. That should be fine. But black is not good enough, is it? So let's change the outline color to red and apply. That's better. Now what do we do? Before any further analysis, let's go to analysis and change environments. That way we'll be working with only the data that we need, and we'll get proper outputs. Output coordinate system, you can change it or change it to admin or leave it as it is. Does not really matter, because just in this moment, let me just show you. You don't have to do this, but let me just show you. In properties, if you go to source, then you can see the spatial reference NPL admin boundary. It's in WGS 1984, right? And it's not projected. Let's also see for our raster source. Let's go to spatial reference. It's also WGS 1984 and it's not projected. So since both of them are in the same projection system, we don't need to make any conversions, otherwise we would have to do that. Okay, that's just for just a side note. Now let's change our extent to a layer. We want our processing extent to be just around NPL admin boundary, and mask, we need to change that. If you don't see a drop down, then like I don't see in mine, you can always browse, and there browse to your Nepal admin boundary. Sometimes you can get the drop down as well. If it's there, then it's easy for you, but since I don't see it, I have to browse it to npl admin 0 shapefile. That is going to be by mask, and everything else should be just fine. Yeah, leave everything as it is and click OK. Then now let's start our processing. What do we need first? We first want to clip our data to just our study area, right? So go to geoprocessing tool. If you don't see it there, then you can always go to analysis and click tools, then search for clip. but it's not a simple clip. It's clip, we're clipping raster, so we need clip raster. It's under the data management tools, click it, and then input raster, input the raster, and then output extent is going to be npl admin 0, and let's rename it to precipitation clip. Okay, that should be fine, and let's run it. We have the clip data. Let's turn off the unnecessary wall data. There we go, we have the clip data, but as you can see it's in rectangle, right? It's not masked properly. We'll fix that in a while. First let's interpolate this data. So before that we need to run a tool, I think it's called raster to point. Yeah, it's raster to point, converts raster data set to point. We want to run IDW, so that's why we need to first convert it to points. Let's convert the precipitation clip using the value, and prep point pt, run. We have obtained the points using the raster. If you observe it closely, then you can see there are points for each cell of our raster. Now what do? We are going to use IDW interpolation technique. IDW and click spatial analyst tool. Then input point feature is going to be prep point Z value. Make sure the Z value is grid code, because if you observe the attribute table of this data, then you can see the the precipitation values are in grid code, not in point ID. So we're going to use the grid code for Z value, and then output is going to be the precipitation IDW. Let's call it that, and everything else should be fine. Just to make sure, let's see the environment. We see the extent, and mask is already by default set to admin 0 because we had set it in the environments. So that's just to make sure. Now let's run the tool IDW, and we'll get our final map after that, right? Seems like we did get the output, but it's not added to the map automatically, right? So let's go to catalog and find our data. It's in my project folders. If you go to project folder, it's in the geodatabase that you have saved. So yeah, there we have the prep IDW. Let's import it there. Turn off all. Oh, okay, it was already imported. I'm sorry, you don't have, you can skip this. Remove this. Okay, prep IDW and turn off all other layers except the IDW. So there we have our precipitation data, but you might want to change the symbology. For that, right click and go to symbology, then change the colors of your choice, or change the color ramp at least. How many classes do you want it to be? I think 9 is a lot. We'll change it to 4 classes. And the value with lowest and highest precipitation, let's change the color to something like something like this. So here we see the it's um, it's quite opposite, isn't it? We want higher precipitation to be darker, so it's opposite. So how can we do that? Go to more and reverse symbol orders. Then there we go. This area has low precipitation, but this area, the northwest part of Nepal, has highest precipitation. That's how we can observe and get the precipitation data. Now you might also want to prepare the layout. How can we do that? Go to insert, click layout, select your paper size. I'm going to scroll down and select ISO A3 paper, but I wanted landscape maybe, or yeah, let's choose landscape. So A3 landscape. And if you double click it, then it will always show. So now we want to insert a map frame. Go to insert and click map frame and click default extent or any other option, and let's insert our map. I want our map to be there, but okay, yeah, let's select this. If this does not zoom to your layer, you can just always right click the layer and click zoom to layer, so that way it zooms to the layer. You can keep the base map or remove it if you want. Hillshade just to keep it simple. See, because of the base map we have that copyright text there. Okay, it's gone now since we have removed the base map. Nice. So we've done this, right? Let's click navigate and zoom there. Now you might want to put the essential layout elements, map elements. Let's start with a heading, a title. So it's going to be a simple text, a straight text that we're going to create here. We are going to call it Climatological Map of Nepal. Let's make it smaller. Climatological Map of Nepal. And we want one more text line here at the bottom. Average precipitation, average precipitation 1970 to 2000. Should we write this? No, maybe not. It's self-explanatory. Climatological Map of Nepal, average precipitation 1970 to 2000. Let's center it. We can see the guides in ArcGIS Pro that helps us to center it as well. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let me move it a little up. Is it too close? I think it is. There we go. Climatological Map of Nepal, average precipitation is that much. Okay. What is next? Let's also insert the scale and everything. How do we do that? Let's go to insert. Okay, first let's insert the north arrow Let's go with something fancy. That's the north arrow, and so the scale bar, maybe a double alternating scale bar should work. It is in miles. We want to change it. You can edit it from here, or you can always go to its own setting as well. I'm going to edit it from here. So let's go to design, and let's change the units to kilometers. We will label it km. Okay, and let's change the subdivisions to be 5. How about we change the scale of the map? It's too much, isn't it? So let's change it to this should work, right? That is the scale of our map, isn't it? Just to make sure. Okay, so that's the one. Since it's not in our whole number, so adjust the division value. That's what we want to do. Okay, so now it looks better, doesn't it? Let's put it in the center as well. Now we want something more. It's going to be the legend. That's probably the most important thing, isn't it? Let's go to insert and add the legend. I'll just go with a simple legend. There we go. So as you can see, there are some things that we want to change. For that, let's change in our data. We want it to be called let's also enable this, right? Yeah, let's rename the data. Nepal boundary. It should rename in the label as well. We want to change it to precipitation. That's what is going to change. Also, we don't want that value to appear, so double click the legend and it will open the settings, and under legend items, click show properties and turn off the headings. Then it will remove the values field. Now if you see, there are points showing, so you can either use the values for legend, or if you prefer, then you can also change the values to something like high, low, and very low, that kind of name as well. I'll leave it to as it is. So that's the precipitation data as well. Of course, after preparing the map, you want to export it to something that everyone can view. You can simply go to share and then click export layout. You can select PDF or anything, or if you click export layout, then you can select the same things from here as well with more details. Let's just export it as JPEG, and remember the place where you export it. Mostly it's in the project file, and that should be it. Then you can change the resolution, the DPI as well, and then oh sorry, we don't want to save the preset, we want to export it. Click export. That's it. If we view the exported file, then we can see the final map. Next video I'll show you how to do the same things but with various other data like minimum maximum temperature and all, using model builder. Thank you for watching.